Hey guys, welcome to Storytime with Jester. Tonight I'll be continuing to read from my novel, The Book of Prophecies. We'll pick up where we left off last time with Andor's journal. Earth Day 19, 1228. We leave for Sternreich. Sunday 20, 1228. Today we entered into Venask. Earth Day 20, 1228. We entered into Brandenburg. Patrols are heavy. We even passed troops from Grindamos. Moon Day 21, 1228. We can see the Dimwold. Grobartig is near. God's Day 21, 1228. We crossed over into Grobartig. Free Day 21, 1228. We crossed the river into Grindamos. Sunday 22, 1228. We met a Grindamos patrol today. They tell of a darkness that has befallen Sternreich. Earth Day 22, 1228. The banks of the Juxton are before us. They are crowded with tents and shelters. So many dot both sides of the river, one would think an entire city was present. Watercrafts are transporting those on the far side to this side. Speaking to one of these fellows reveals the true nature of this amassing of people. Most are refugees from the capital of Sternreich. Others are from neighboring towns and villages. All are escaping the evil that has befallen their country. The poor souls we have spoken to talk of giants and other evil creatures raiding their towns and villages. Others tell of a foreboding darkness that had started in the capital and seems to be spreading outward, almost as if consuming the entire land. The look on the faces of most we've encountered is bleak at best. In the midst of our wanderings, a rider bearing the standard of the royal house of Grindamos came into the makeshift camp with a message from the king. It is a call for aid in the battle against the evil that has overtaken Sternreich. We decide to postpone our search for those behind the assassination attempt. We instead heed the call to defend Sternreich. We encountered a tribe of peaceful giants today. They were leaving their homeland in the Sarachjaka mountains to the west. Their leader tells of other giants burning and pillaging the nearby lands. He spoke of dark powers beyond that of his evil kin. He wished us safe travel and was on his way. Before he departed, he gave us a round of goat cheese. We split it up among the 8 of us and set off. Sunday 23, 1228. We arrive in the capital, or what is left of it. An enormous black dome has covered most of the city, including the citadel. We were quickly surrounded by a Grindamos patrol. They escorted us to the temporary headquarters of the king's agent. It seems the building is the home to the seer we were looking for that was named in the letter we found on the assassins. The 2 of them were in the library with a fellow priest of St. Columba. After talking to them, we learned that patrols have located 2 giant strongholds. An earlier group was sent to one in the John Mayen Mountains, south of here. We are to go to the other one located in the Sarachjaka, west of here. After meeting with the 3 men, we pulled the seer aside and questioned him about the information he supplied to the assassins. He admitted giving information about us to someone, but reminded us that information is his specialty. He earns his keep by selling what he knows. Devon wants him dead, but Eric won't allow him to be harmed. The 2 are at odds over this. We will rest here the night and leave tomorrow for the glacier peaks of Sarachjaka. Moon Day 23, 1228. The king's agent agrees to teleport us to a location within a mile of the giant stronghold. We locate an empty cave, apparently unknown to the giants as there aren't any tracks or traces of activity. We will use this as a base if needed. Praise be to St. Columba. He has kept us alive through the fierce fighting we just encountered. We have been in the stronghold several hours. In that time we have killed some 30 giants, along with several beasts native to the cold. All this, along with the frigid temperatures of this God-forsaken place, has taken its toll on us. We are weary and injured. We dare not make a fire, fearful that it will either draw more of these fell beings to us, or melt some of the ice and snow, thus burying us or sending us to a chasm below. We have found a large cavern system that seems to be deserted. A map found on a giant's skeleton shows a storage chamber that is currently blocked by a boulder, and a more extensive system through the cave-in that buried the fallen giant. The map was a clever trick. It led us not to a storage room, but a dragon lair. Not one, but two white dragons we found ourselves against. Marikai and Jovan are badly wounded. We will stay here the night. Our camp we will place between the two dragons, their bodies providing protection should we be attacked. God's Day 23, 1228. By the power of St. Columba, I was able to heal my comrades. We are about to explore this cavern further, as we don't believe all is as it seems. We guessed correctly. We found where another boulder concealed a hidden tunnel. Two giants awaited us on the other side. One attacked us while the other attempted to sound an alarm. We were able to get past the first and stop the second before any alarm could be sounded. Water Day 23, 1228. We rescued a giantess, she being at home in the storms as would be Odin. She aided us in destroying much of the stronghold. Since we got past the initial two guards, the rest of the place was unawares. We eliminated most of the force, which had to have numbered around 80 giants and ogres. To my dismay, however, the Jarl and his mate escaped. We did find quite a bit of treasure, though. Eric got a beautiful suit of plate armor, Hawkeye and Iron Horn of magical properties, and through Kelwin's keen sense of snooping, found an iron box hidden on a ledge near the exit. It contained an enormous warhammer and several other items. None of us could even pick up the hammer from out of the box. We also found an iron bar some 10 feet above the ground sticking out of the wall that, when pulled down, transported us to a place approximately 50 feet before a pair of huge obsidian doors. The land around us is much different than what we just left. Off in the distance is a volcano. Lava is flowing all around. The air is hot and acrid. By the looks of it, according to Xavier, we had been teleported somewhere in the mountain range known as the Heligschalet. We found a cave to hide in until we can rest, heal, and gain strength. Earth 23, 1228. Jovan was out searching the area, seeing if there was a lot of activity and such. About midday he came back. With him were 6 other people, one of which was Thorfinn. Thorfinn had put together a group and had been the one that was sent to the other giant stronghold. He estimates that they killed some 70 of the giants and mumus that lived in the hills, including the chieftain and his mate. The 5 companions of Thorfinn are as follows: Nosgar, a fellow barbarian of Thorfinn's from the steppes; Tharuik, a dwarven priest and brother to Glareath, a fighter; Valian, an elven warrior; and a beautiful female wizard by the name of Miranda. Both Glareath and Valian were being held captives by the giants. They were found and rescued by the others. I showed Thorfinn the iron box containing the magical hammer, which had been teleported with us here. He reached in and with ease was able to pick it up. We all agree that he is to have it. He pulled a sword out of a blanket and gave it to us in exchange. We agree that Marikai should own it. Thorfinn had added to his attire somewhat since I last saw him. He had acquired a pair of leather gauntlets and an intricately carved belt. Moon Day 24, 1228. For the past 2 days we have fought for our lives. By the grace and power of St. Columba we are still alive. We entered the stronghold of the giants and battled the king and his minions. In the 2 days that followed we killed the king, his mate, some 80 giants, several 2-headed, a dozen or so hounds from hell, and the Jarl and his mate that escaped us previously. We found several prisoners of whom we set free. A noble female elf and 8 male elves, a titan who helped us defeat the giants, and a female thief. A dwarf, Prince Ermic he called himself, betrayed us but escaped. The thief suffered a most gruesome death, being slammed into an iron maiden. We also discovered several dark elves in the lower level of the complex. From the papers we found on their bodies after we killed them, it appears that one Nalathria was behind this unification of giants. There is another level below this one, but we are too badly wounded to proceed any further. We will escort the princess and her guards to the surface, and ourselves rest and heal. Water Day 24, 12/28. We prepare to go back underground. We will need the power of St. Columba. We meet little resistance on the third level. It seems whatever was here made a retreat across a river of lava. A few giants were waiting for us, but as if protecting the retreat. There were 3 ugly creatures with squid-like faces and a huge red dragon. These were the last foes we faced. With the fighting prowess of our fighters, the hammer of Thorfinn, and the might of the Titan, all enemies were slain. With the giants destroyed, the Titan went on his way. He doesn't care about the Dark Elves or whatever else may be here. We discovered a map of underground caverns in an adamantine tube. We proceed across the bridge spanning the lava river and see where our futures lie. Earth Day 24, 12/28. Although we are deep underground, there are natural light sources here, beetles that glow and phosphorescent lichen being the most numerous. Free Day 24, 12/28. We were attacked by a score or so Dark Elves. Apparently these buggers like to use poison. I'll have to prepare for this type of fighting. One of them changed into some kind of bat creature and flew off, probably to warn more of these. Approximately Moon Day 25, 12/28. The tunnels opened into a huge cavern. We were attacked again by a contingent of Dark Elves. The leader was riding a stallion from hell and wielding a lance. We killed everyone, but not before Hawkeye and Marikai were struck by her lance. It seemed to draw life out of them. A group of gargoyles harried us as we left the caverns, continuing through the tunnels. Approximately Earth Day 25, 12/28. We came upon an underground river. It appeared to be very deep. Across the way was a humanoid, a fishman of some sort. He asked us if we wanted him to ferry us across. We agreed. He told us the name of the river was the Skelleft. Eric was on his guard. Afterwards, when we had gotten across and was on our way, I asked Eric why he was distressed. He said that he could feel the evil in the creature. Approximately Free Day 25, 12/28. We encountered a group of gnomes, native to the underground. We asked them about the ferrymen, and they said a whole race of them lay in our path, located in a shrine. Eric was right about them being evil. The gnomes said they worshiped some water goddess, a sea mother. The gnomes agreed to escort us to the shrine via a secret tunnel they have dug that will allow travel to the shrine unmolested. Their fee is to be paid in gems. Approximately Moon Day 26, 12/28. We just left the area of the shrine. The gnomes told us where the lizard folk kept prisoners. We went there and set free most of them, one of which was a knight of Hieronymus named Finitar. We set the prisoners, all enemies of the lizard folk, upon the inhabitants of the shrine, while we and the gnomes fought our way to the exit, slaying every lizard we encountered along the way. We said goodbye to the gnomes, paying them their fee of gems, and went on our way. Finitar agreed to join us. Something of note. Of the treasure we gained while in the shrine, we found several odd pieces of jewelry, that which seemed would fit over one's eyes. I don't know quite what to think of them. Approximately Water Day 26, 12/28. We reached the battlement wall that completely blocked our way. It was manned by 20 Dark Elf fighters. Marikai took out a black cube that he had taken off the commander of the temple forces several years ago near Henwick, and caused it to spring into a battlement of our own. We then scaled the walls between the 2 battlements and killed all the Dark Elves inside. Again, we find these odd gem lenses. Also, we find black metal medallions bearing the image of a spider on one side and a female Dark Elf on the other. Who knows what month and day, 12/28. We just entered the kingdom of the Dark Elves, a dome structure that is miles long, almost like an underground vault. The light was strange, allowing only black and gray colors. When we put those strange gem lenses on our eyes, the colors of the vault were breathtaking. Fungi and lichen grow everywhere here. We notice a huge black tower atop a hill in the distance. It appears the road we are on leads to it. Up ahead is a merchant train. Using the black medallions we found at the battlement, we exchanged them for some sort of green-colored cloaks, passes of sorts, to allow free travel within the Dark Elf domain. Next day. We awake after a restless sleep. We will try and find someone to speak to that may know something, be willing to tell us, and not get us killed in the process. We encountered a group of young dark elves who are involved in a movement to rid their society of the influence that rules over it, some sort of spider queen. She supposedly has some structure to the northeast. They are to help us reach this place and hopefully defeat the spider queen. Next day, we have found some papers written in the dark elf language. We show our new friends these papers. They tell us that one of those is a pass into the noble area. It will get us through the gate. 2 of them will be standing by, awaiting a signal from the others who will be in earshot of us as we attempt to get through the gate with the pass. 1 of them will be with us to speak to the guards. If the guards start to ask too many questions, a signal to the 2 will alert them to start a diversion to draw away the guards and allow us to pass. The papers worked. No diversion was necessary. We are in, thanks to our new friends. If we can defeat this entity, maybe they can start a new order of things down here. If nothing else, so that it's not so evil. Next day. The noble houses that we passed on the way to the structure were grand indeed. As we near the structure, the light glows rusty red, and the lichen on the walls are a putrid green, making the whole area radiate a sickly evil feeling. The rock walls have been sculpted to depict horrid and disgusting scenes and visages, adding to the feeling. Off in the distance, 2 temples can be seen. One, the closest, is yellow in color, ornately sculpted with demonic features, and much smaller than the second one, which raises on a mound some 5 stories high. It is decorated with many spider and demon statues and has many windows. We gird ourselves for what may be the last battle of our lives. St. Columba be with us. Lend us your mighty and holy power to smite this evil demon bitch and her minions. When we entered the temple, it seemed to be empty. We noticed in front of us, some 100 feet in the distance, was a strange scene. As we neared, we saw what looked to be an amber pool and the image of a giant spider with the face of a female dark elf. It seemed to be floating in the air. As we got closer, the amber pool rose from the ground to form a column around the image from floor to ceiling. Behind it, on the wall, was a mural. On either side of it was braziers, the smoke of which drifted towards and into the mural. Eric walked through the amber pool and the image, and as he touched the mural, he was pulled inside. We decided to follow, guessing that he had entered some sort of gate and couldn't be left alone to face whatever lies on the other side. One by one, we did the same until we ended up in a maze of webs. As far as I can tell, we are in the abyss. St. Columba help us. We find ourselves on a narrow walkway some 20 feet in width, completely surrounded by thick, billowing fog. Other than the floor, there is nothing substantial, no walls or ceiling, nothing except the strange fog. I fear that if we stumble over the edge, that we will forever be lost in the chaos that is the abyss. I've noticed that the walkway we are traveling on seems to somehow be made up of the very souls that have been condemned here. When we arrived here, a large platinum egg appeared on the walkway also. I don't know quite what to think of this egg, but we take it with us. We've been wandering around for what seems like days. Every so often we are attacked by crawly creatures, mainly spiders. At times they drop on us from somewhere above, at others out of the fog itself. We have managed to find 5 rooms on this maze. In each we've encountered various evil creatures. By the power of St. Columba we have defeated these foul things and have ourselves remained alive. In one of the rooms we found a priest by the name of Petros. He worships the god of liberty. He and Hawkeye have struck up a friendship. In another room we fought 4 demons of some sort. Once they were slain, the platinum egg started to hum, and we were teleported to a different location in this maze. Petros has informed me, and I am starting to discover for myself as well, that our gods hold little power here in the abyss. Several times I have prayed for much-needed spells, only to receive none, or at best only minor ones. I fear if we finally meet this Spider Queen, we will be quite weak and unprepared to defeat her. I'm sure this is all part of her plan. More rooms, more creatures to fight. Again, a room containing 4 demons, and just like before, we are teleported to another location once the last demon is slain. And again, the egg hums just prior to this. The farther we go, the harder the foe, the larger and deadlier their spiders. St. Columba saved me. I'm starting to rhyme. Date unknown, 1228. Today we lost Nosgar. We entered a room after going through a long corridor of doors protected by many wards, which contained 3 pyramids. There were half a dozen dark elves and close to 2 score zombies in the room, although the Dark Elves had concealed their presence by magic. After a bloody fight, we killed all of them, but in so doing, Nosgar lost his life. Thorfinn is deeply saddened by this, as we all are. They were best friends. In his time of greatest need, I could do nothing to help him. Yet another room with demons, this time only 3. Ha! Only. And just like the previous 2 times, when the last was killed, the egg made a humming sound, and we were transported to another location on this accursed abyss. We encountered another door. This time, however, it was different. It was an archway with a clear membrane covering the portal. Through it, we could see what appeared to be as another world. We entered reluctantly. What we found was a kingdom of elves. The leader, a duke, told us that his kingdom was under attack by forces of the Spider Queen. The most important information, though, is that St. Columba has power in the kingdom, and I am able to pray for and receive more powerful spells. We have spent the last week healing and resting. We will now head back into that awful web in our search for the Spider Queen. Several more doorways we have bypassed. It seems as though her powers are far-reaching, and her lust for conquest knows no bounds. We finally entered one that led to a dwarven kingdom. The Queen's forces were just about to begin their final assault on the dwarven fortress when we arrived. We joined the dwarves in their fight for freedom and helped them defeat the minions of the Spider Queen. Praise be to St. Columba. After passing several more of those worlds, the pathway ended into a pair of huge bronze doors. After entering, we found ourselves on a flat yellow desert under a purple sky. Off in the distance was a huge bronze building being supported in the air by long, leg-like appendages. It sort of looked like a large spider. I believe we have reached our destination. May we be given power and strength and wisdom that is St. Columba. Chapter 23. When Andor's group had first entered the web, they came to a room that contained no foes to defeat, only an old man sitting at a table. On the table in front of him was a deck of cards. He bade them to come in and sit. "Learn your fates," the old man said. "It's all in the cards know." Curious, or wanting to know what their fate with the Spider Queen would be, they all sat at the large table. All, that is, except the demi-humans. Valian, Kelwyn, and the brothers Brumnaheim all declined the invitation. As they sat, the old man dealt out one card to each of them face down. "You must accept your fate to know it," the old man said, gesturing to the face-down cards. Andor turned his card over first. "Ah, the star," the old man said. "You will gain wisdom that far exceeds that of normal men." Eric was the next to turn his card over. "The comet. You will gain fighting prowess, but like the comet you must act fast, or your fate will be gone in the blink of an eye." Jovan turned his over next. "Ah, the fates be smiling on you, as they be who you drew. You are granted the choice of choosing your own fate, but choose wisely, for you get but one chance." Xavier chose to go next. "The sage. Appropriate. You are given insight in the form of knowledge. Your next dilemma will be known to you." Hawkeye was right at home where cards were involved. He waited his turn in anticipation. Finally it was his turn. As soon as he flipped over the card, the others snickered at the image presented. "The jester," the old man said, amid more snickering from the others. "No one takes more chances than that of the jester. His life hangs in the balance upon every whim of those he serves. Therefore, as a reward, the fates have decided to give you 2 more cards." The old man set the card to the side, unlike the previous overturned cards, which he had put back into the deck. "You must await your fate until all is known." Marikai flipped over his when his turn came, although hesitantly. The picture was of a broken castle. "You are not as fortunate as your friends here," the old man said. "What is it?" Marikai asked. When the old man hesitated, he demanded, "Tell me!" "Ruin. Everything you have, wealth, land, property, gone as we speak." Marikai jumped to his feet and reached for his sword as if to strike down the old man. Hawkeye and Devon grabbed him, restraining him from harming the fortune-teller. "He that hath no rule over his own spirit," Andor said, "is like a city that is broken down and without walls." Marikai continued to struggle, ignoring the wisdom of Andor. "Peace, be still," Andor said, as he cast a spell on his friend. Immediately, Marikai relaxed and sat back down. "Let's get this over with," Devon said as he flipped over his card. "Rogue! One who calls you liege will betray you." "Careful, old man," Devon warned. "Your luck is quickly running out." "It is you whose luck is running out. The cards do not lie. Barbarian?" Thorfinn flipped over his card, awaiting calamity. "Key!" As the old man spoke the word, a scroll appeared on the table in front of Thorfinn. He unrolled it and found it to be a treasure map. Without waiting for the old man to look at her, Miranda flipped over her card. It showed a quarter moon. "Moon! It seems the gods favor you. Ask it, and it will be given unto you. But once." Finnatar flipped over his. He recoiled at the sight of it. "Medusa! Stay far away from such a creature, for you, above all others, will not resist her gaze." Looking at Hawkeye again, the old man drew 2 cards from the deck and placed them face up in front of Hawkeye. "The comet and the sun. Your mettle will be tested by your next foe. The fates have smiled on you this day, for they have afforded you protection." Immediately in front of Hawkeye on the table appeared an engraved gem secured tightly in a leathered thong. Hawkeye took it and placed it around his neck. With that, the table, cards, and old man disappeared. And that, my friends, is where we will end tonight's reading. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed reading it to you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell so that you can get notifications of when I post more videos. And make sure you share to all your friends, and do leave comments in the comments section, for I do so love those. And until next week, and as always, see you soon.